future of business is not just digital, it is intelligently digital. When thought leaders come together, innovation becomes action, and action becomes impact. Good morning, respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, faculty members, scholars, and dear participants. I am Akshaya Sunil, and alongside me is Shumli Das. Together, we have the opportunity of being your hosts for today's inaugural ceremony. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the inauguration ceremony of the 3-day international conference on tech-driven business management, navigating challenges and seizing opportunities. This conference brings together brilliant minds, thought leaders, and innovators to explore how technology is reshaping the landscape of business management in today's dynamic world. To begin this auspicious occasion, let us invoke the divine blessings. I invite Ms. Sri Lakshmi B., Research Scholar, Institute of Management in Kerala, to render the invocation.
Thank you, Ms. Sri Lakshmi, for setting a serene and a positive tone for the day. Now, it's my privilege to invite Dr. K.S. Suresh Kumar, the Professor and Head, Institute of Management in Kerala, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. Most respected Chair, Dr. Vasanta Gopal, Senior Professor and Director, School of Business Management and Legal Studies, University of Kerala. Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Kerala, Professor Mohanan Kunnumal. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Digital University of Kerala, Professor Saji Gopinath. Respected Dr. S. Ambish Man, Assistant Professor, IMK. Respected Dr. Jayachandran, Dr. Sibi, Dr. Balu, Sri Manoj, Dr. Binoj, respected General Secretary, Departments Union, Meenakshi, respected resource persons, participants, faculty, colleagues, staff members of IMK, and my dear research scholars and students. We are about to start 3-day long international conference on tech-driven business management, navigating challenges and seizing opportunities. We made a very close observation on what is happening today, particularly in the context of the current economic and business scenario, and how technology is moving on. In that line, based on the contemporary relevance, we have chosen this topic, this basic theme for this particular conference. We know that technology is redefining every aspect of human life, very particularly the way we start, run, and grow a business or an economic institution. Business managers across the globe, apart from understanding the business policies, principles, practices, they try to synthesize or integrate this emerging technology into the practice so that they will be able to survive, sustain, and grow. Particularly higher education institutions like a university, we are very much involved in involving it, and that is why we have chosen this topic, because there is a backdrop in that line we move on. We have to invite industry experts, academicians, researchers, students, and other interested participants to discuss on this topic, how this emerging technology can be integrated to the practice of business so that we will be able to succeed. We know that the university is producing knowledge apart from disseminating knowledge. Producing knowledge is the very serious and a very important area where normally universities and higher education institutions are concentrating on. I feel this is a very important platform that IMK is organizing and providing before you to make deliberate discussions based on the specific topics that we already communicated to you under the basic theme of this particular conference, and throughout the 3-day long deliberations we will be able to benefit, all the stakeholders will really benefit. We are running very short of time, that is why being the member of the organizing committee, I am here to formally welcome the gatherings. The meeting is presided over by Dr. R. Vasanta Gopal, Senior Professor, Director, School of Business Management and Legal Studies. He is a very reputed academician among the commerce and management fraternity across the country. You know that he is an academic and administrative leader, and his leadership in this both area is accepted and is taken care of by all the stakeholders here. He is, apart from the official assignments of the University of Kerala, he is now serving as the Dean of Faculty of Commerce as well as member syndicate of Mahatma Gandhi University. On behalf of everyone assembled here, with all due respect, I extend a very warm welcome to Professor R. Vasanta Gopal. He is presiding this particular meeting. Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Kerala, Professor Mohan Kunnumal is going to inaugurate this conference. We all know Professor Mohan Kunnumal is an eminent medical practitioner who turned as an inspiring leader and a visionary administrator. With rich academic background and vast administrative experience, he has played a pivotal role in strengthening the academic excellence, promoting research, and fostering innovation in our university. Our Vice Chancellor is holding the Vice Chancellor post of two important major universities in Kerala. He is running a very hectic time schedule. In spite of that, he is spending much time in overseeing all the academic and administrative matters of our university. He is always showing very positive attitude towards IMK. I have a very recent experience. He is also attending, in spite of his busy schedule, he is attending all the programs of IMK. The last year he inaugurated our conference. Also he inaugurated our graduation day. With all due respect and all you people assembled here, I extend you, sir, the most cordial welcome to this particular inaugural meeting. It is indeed a privilege to have with us Dr. Saji Gopinath, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Digital University of Kerala, who will deliver the keynote address. He is also attending our, is a very attached person to us. He is attending our different programs. Last year he delivered a keynote address of our international conference. His visionary leadership in the field of digital innovation and technology-driven development is widely recognized. Sir, we are eagerly looking forward to your opening address on behalf of IMK and all those people assembled here. I extend a warm welcome to Professor Saji Gopinath to this inaugural meeting. Professor Shaji Shaji, Director IQAC, consented to attend this meeting. He will join this join us very soon. I extend a warm welcome to Professor Shaji. Dr. Sambishmar, a very young and dynamic faculty member of IMK, is going to propose vote of thanks in this inaugural meeting. I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Ambishman to this particular meeting. I sincerely welcome Ms. Gayatri. She is the General Secretary of Department Students Union. Sorry, Meenakshi. So I'm really sorry, Meenakshi. She is very dynamic personality. She is coordinating all the activities of student-related programs here. Welcome, Meenakshi, to this particular inaugural meeting. I extend a very warm welcome to all the esteemed teachers of the various teaching departments of our university, as well as all the affiliated colleges who are attending this meeting online and offline. I extend a warm welcome to all the esteemed teaching faculty members of IMK, ambitious researchers, and my dear students who took a lot of pain in organizing this particular program. I take this particular opportunity to welcome all the non-teaching staff members of IMK, as well as the organizing committee members, the special dignitaries who are attending this meeting, Sri Subramaniam, Sri Jayachandran, Sri Sivi, Sri Manoj, Dr. Balu, Sri Dr. Binoj, and all other participants who are attending this meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for the warm and gracious welcome. Next, I invite Dr. R. Vasanta Gopal, the Senior Professor and Director, School of Business Management and Legal Studies, to deliver the presidential address.
Most respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Mohan Gundumal sir, respected keynote speaker, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kerala University of Digital Sciences, Innovation and Technology, Professor Saji Gopinath sir, respected Director IQAC, Professor E. Shaji, respected Professor Ambishman, Faculty of IMK, my dear Ms. Meenakshi, Siji, who is actually the General Secretary of Departments Union of the University, distinguished guests, dear participants, researchers, and my dear students. See, I think there is no need for giving much elaborate President's letters because we are all running short of time. And Institute of Management in Kerala is actually one of the largest departments of the university. They are offering 4 MBA programs: MBA General, MBA Shipping and Logistics, MBA Travel and Tourism, MBA Evening, Executive Evening, regular program. And also we are offering BBA program and 2 PhD program. And of course, university, among the 43 university departments, this is the largest department in terms of number of students. And also, one important highlight is we are having more than 40 foreign scholars. I mean, for every class, even in undergraduate class, we have these 20 foreign students. So thereby, we are being able to create a multicultural atmosphere in the department. And this is actually the largest department which is catering this number of foreign scholars. See, apart from usual academic activities of the department, EMK as a management department, we are conducting different academic programs. Every year we will conduct a conference like this scale. And the last year also we had a conference. And again the last year we conducted this Merit Day graduation ceremony. And actually that was the first program of the University of Kerala. Among departments are not conducting this type of program in such a scale. We conducted the program in a bigger scale, and we received a very good applause for this particular program, because these are all required for propagating the institution or branding the institution. And this coming to this international conference, we are all living in a very technology era, and of course this technology is transforming every sphere of our life, not business. It is being spread across the society, and society is getting the advantage of technology. So many hue and cry are there, but even then we are all embracing this technology, and this is actually for a business. This technology is very much needed for increasing the efficiency for the organization. Organizations are extensively using this technology for taking refined decisions. Thereby, our organizations are being able to produce a very good result. And of course, technology is giving more impetus to the economy as in general. It is also facing so many challenges. This actually data privacy issue is there, and cyber security threats are there. That ethical concerns in AI is also another area to be discussed. Then again, digital divide. These are all the issues. Even then, see, as an academic, what we have to do is we will have to take care, and we will have to equip our students. We will have to reskill and upskill our students to cope with this technology. And also, again, as an academic, we have the responsibility to ensure technological progress in inclusive, ethical and sustainable manner. So with this, here I take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, because though he is a very busy person, he is a very famous radiologist, and he is heading 2 universities. But in spite of his busy schedule, he is attending almost all the programs of IMK, and whenever we approach him, he is giving us a positive note, and if the things are done in a very meticulous manner, definitely we are getting his assent very soon. And also the last, as our HOD said, the last conference also he attended, and he made a very wonderful inaugural address. And as I said earlier, we had this Merit Evening that was also being inaugurated by our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Sir, thank you very much for your support for IMK and for your visionary leadership for the whole institution. Then again, I also take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor for Digital University, Satish sir. He is a very reputed management expert. He is attached with the Institute of IAM, Kozhikode, and he occupied different positions. Now, sir was actually the first Vice Chancellor of Digital University. Then Now he is what? Heading the university again the second term. He is a very learned professor, and the last time also he turned up here and he made a very brilliant keynote address. And this time also I invited him. Readily he agreed. That shows what his commitment in academics. So thank you very much, sir, for your valued presence. And so, see, we received our team. I also congratulate our team, who has been tirelessly working for the last 3 months for conducting this seminar. Conducting a seminar is not easy now, because I was talking with our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sajid sir that nowadays organizing team is what taking much pain. But the participants, we are not getting adequate number of participants. And if you are conducting what seminars and all in hybrid mode, then many people will opt for hybrid and even online mode. So that is because they want what certificates. See, the aim of higher education, all of us know that the aim of higher education is what? Inculcating knowledge and skill and also value sets. Okay. See, nowadays the government is also propagating that we will have to inculcate skill and all. But without considering knowledge, how can we create a skill? So application knowledge is nothing but skill. So we will have to what? We will have to take what? This knowledge area, we will have to take the skill area, and also we will have to inculcate value set. These are all very much needed, because these are all conferences wherein we can what? Associate together, and we can interact together, and we can create a networking. These are all what actually needed apart from what? This dissemination of information. So you see here we have received almost 75 papers from different parts, and these papers are being presented in 6 tracks, and these tracks are being managed by very learned professors, and here 4 foreign professors are attending what? This conference online. They are making their presentations, and again, see, we have a panel discussion after what? Immediately after this inaugural function, and we invited 5 learned people who are actually very senior people and expert in the area of what? This AI and machine learning. They are what? Presenting their views. Again, in the afternoon, we will have a cultural meet and a gala dinner we arranged here, and we will have a cultural gathering. So again, in the next day, we will have a city tour. So these are all actually what KSRTC is what? Providing this platform. Thereby the participants can what? Visit different destinations in Trivandrum district. Thereby they can interact. They can what? Network what? With our participants. Then again, in the last day, valedictory address. So that means what are all the things which are normally being what? Expected or needed in a particular conference? All these things be what? Be included in this conference. So definitely I hope this conference will deliberate these issues in a very rich manner, and definitely this gives a platform to all of us, and thereby we can what? Deliberate further this particular area in the next platforms. So with this note, I extend my best wishes for the success of this conference, and to the participants for a fruitful discussion and a meaningful engagement. Thank you.
We now move on to the most significant moment of today's ceremony. It is my honor to invite Dr. Mohanan Kunnumal, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Kerala. I request him to light the lamp and officially inaugurate the conference. I also request all the dignitaries to kindly join him in lighting the lamp. I invite Dr. Mohan Kunnumal, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Kerala, to deliver the inaugural address.
Good morning. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. The president of today's wonderful program, the inaugural ceremony, Professor R. Vasanta Gopal, the senior professor and director of the Institute of Management, Kerala. The keynote speaker and my brother vice chancellor of the Digital University, Professor Saji Gopinath. Professor Suresh Kumar, who welcomed us. Professor Shaji, who is going to address us. Ms. Meenakshi, who is also talking to us. And Dr. Rambesh Mohan, who will be thanking us. Eminent faculty members and my dear students. I'm extremely happy to be in this Department of Management once again, as this is the biggest department in the university with 280 students, and you are admitting every year almost 105 students. And also, when I see the gathering, I know that the largest number of foreign students in the university is also here in this department. 38 students, I understand, who are outside India. So I welcome all of you to this department. And we are discussing a very important topic, tech-driven business management, navigating challenges and seizing opportunities. The most important word everybody says right now is disruption. Whatever you have been practicing has been completely disrupted. So the jobs you were thinking that after a few years you will get a job, it is not that. But then new job is coming. For example, one simple thing. Do you know which is the biggest hotel chain in Trivandrum? Where thousands of people can have food. It is either Swiggy or Zomato. They have not invested in a hotel. They have not employed cooks, but they assure you food. And how do they do? It is because of the technology and with a mobile phone. Just like that, the whole concept has changed. And if you want to go somewhere for a car, you will not go out and call a taxi. Your mobile will call a taxi. As long as Uber is there, you can go anywhere in the world. And does Uber own any car? They don't own any car. What do they own? They own a mobile. They own a technology. So this technology has this stuff. Being a radiologist, I know how it is amazingly changing my practice. Films were the most important thing which were used in radiology, X-ray films, and also in the photography also we were using films. And the biggest film manufacturing facility in the world was in Ooty, owned by Government of India, Hindustan Photo Films. It is closed. Nobody needs films because everything has become digital. Everything has been digital. I don't know whether you youngsters remember the days when you have a camera and then take few photographs. You are very careful to take photographs, otherwise you will lose a film. And then go to a studio and wash it. And when they wash, everything is washed out, nothing is there. Very precious moments have gone. Now with a digital camera, now digital camera is also out. It is mobile. If with mobile, you can take 100 pictures. Dangerous equipment, you can take dangerous pictures also. And then, so the technology has disrupted everything. So this is the word disruption. So in this disruption, how are you going to survive? And that is what we have to learn. And that is your business. And this is what, in a business school, you should learn the business of survival. And that is why the new education policy has come. National education policy prepares you for facing this kind of disruption. You have an opportunity to learn anything and everything now. Earlier, when you join a college and for a bachelor's degree, you do BSc chemistry with physics and mathematics and you take a degree. Now you join a college with BSc chemistry and you have literature and international policy. Well, you don't know whether chemistry will give you a job or literature will give you a job or international relations will give you a job. Maybe chemistry and international relations and literature together may give you a job. This kind of disruption and this kind of resistance is what is happening all around. That is the most important thing. So for a student, how are you going to be future ready? That is the word. You have to be future ready. And what is the future? I don't know. So then you don't know what is the future and still you have to be ready. Means you should learn whatever possible and you should have the ability to learn newer and newer things, to adopt what is happening. When I joined the radiology department at that time, there was only X-rays. So you have a cough, we will take a chest X-ray and I look at it and I will tell tuberculosis. That was the time. Things have changed. Now I do CT scan, I do MRI, I do PET scan. And how did I learn? I did not learn many of these things when I was in the college, but I had to learn. I have to learn and live. And then I have to teach. I've been teaching my students this thing. Now, you have such a huge population, 140 crore population. How can you reach all the people? Then teleradiology has come. Telemedicine has come. Somebody in the deep village in Wayanad has got a problem. And the doctor in Trivandrum Medical College can communicate. And we can tell him what is his problem. This is technology. And now artificial intelligence has come. And all of us are terribly worried. In fact, Kerala has got a great experience. Kerala is probably the only state in the whole world which fought against computers, thinking that computer will make us jobless. Now, we have a dedicated university for computers, and its vice chancellor is sitting here. See, just imagine that. And the political organizations which fought against computers, they are using maximum number of computers. Because technology you cannot escape. But then what will you do? You adopt it, go along with the technology. Recently, sometime back in the USA, there was a radiology conference, and just before that conference, a very eminent person who created artificial intelligence said that because of artificial intelligence, we don't need any more radiologists. So all of us radiologists were terribly upset. And this international conference where about 60,000 radiologists attend at Chicago, where I was also present. And we discussed, are we going to be finished? And we discussed and we realized that it will not finish us. We will survive and we will use that technology for a better results. And at that time the gentleman said, after 5 years we don't need any more radiologists. And today, world over, there are vacancies about 1 lakh radiologists and there are not enough radiologists. So what now people are saying is that artificial intelligence will not replace you. But a person who is knowing artificial intelligence will replace a person who does not have artificial intelligence. You get the subtle difference. So if you want to survive, you must learn artificial intelligence. And then you can easily replace a person who has not been bold enough to learn artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence has become something like literacy. If you don't know how to write and read and write Malayalam, then the person who knows how to read and write Malayalam will replace you. Similarly, if you don't know artificial intelligence, you will be replaced by another person who knows how to use, because it has become part of your life. So disruptions are there. Don't get worried about disruption. The human culture always survived. And so, how do you be prepared for that? That's why the department has to organize a conference like this. This conference has got a historical relevance. It is telling the faculty and telling the students that be future ready. These are the disruptions that are going to happen. I said some few things which everybody knows. There are so many disruptions which have. Encyclopedia Britannica has stopped publication. You know that? It has stopped publication. Encyclopedia Britannica, who is going to read? Because you have a Wikipedia in your publication. And this Wikipedia, whether it is correct or not, is a different issue. So in fact, you can make a speech within 5 minutes if you ask Gemini. What I am saying is not from Gemini, this is from my mind. I tell you. Now I may ask Gemini, I don't know whether Gemini will say something else, and I would have really, I could have said that also. So this is how things are changing. And therefore, my request to my dear students and my dear faculty, be ready, be future ready. And I am so happy that this conference will definitely make you navigate through the challenges and seize the opportunities. I wish you the very best, and I will declare this conference inaugurated.
Thank you, sir, for inaugurating the conference and for your meaningful address. As a token of our respect and gratitude, we would now like to present a memento to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. I invite Dr. K.S. Suresh Kumar, Professor and Head, Institute of Management, Kerala, to kindly present the memento. An inauguration becomes even more meaningful with visionary insights. I now invite Dr. Saji Gopinath, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Kerala University of Digital Sciences, Innovation and Technology, to deliver the keynote address.
Good morning. Most Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Mohan Kundumal, President of the function Professor R. Vasantha, other dignitaries on the dais, distinguished faculty members of Institute of Management Kerala, and dear participants for this very important conference. At the outset, let me congratulate IMK for organizing such very meaningful conferences every year. Last year it was about the environment and the sustainability, and this year another very important theme on tech-driven business management. My only regret is that I could not attend all the 3 days. In fact, going through this and on also the type of papers which is getting presented, I'm sure that this is going to be a very enriching discussions which we are going to happen. Because the theme, tech-driven business management, is actually an interesting topic. And I was thinking that whether I should start by saying this, but I got the courage from Professor Mohan Kundumal. So I will say that if you look at management, the management is dead or is going to die. And I'm sure that most of you, especially management professionals, researchers, will actually may not like it. But it's like what Mohan Kundumal sir has said about the radiologist conference. I think it's time for us to seriously rethink about the way the management is being taught, practiced, as well as educated in the world. You all know that the Elon Musk does not hire any MBAs, and he could actually create a large enterprise without any MBAs. Why is it so? So I've gone through the papers, and in fact, we can look at this technology in three ways. One, it actually accelerates what is happening now. It minimizes the waste, it minimizes the current issues to a large extent. And that's basically where AI is currently being used. In fact, Professor Mohan Kundumal has given a very interesting examples of how AI and technology is actually going to be used. That's one set of challenges, aspects, opportunities. And I believe that many of your papers actually speak about that. How AI can be embedded in many reasons as such. The second aspect is you actually started looking at the next level of effectiveness, where we actually started using technology in a ways which currently we cannot use. And again, he gave an example of how you can create the world's largest real estate without even owning a single real estate, largest taxi company without owning a single car. These are the models which without the technology you cannot use. So again, some of the papers actually speak about this. But let me look at on the third aspect. And that's basically where I will actually justify what I said, that management is dead, or management as we know is actually dead. It's not business, but only the management. If you look at management as a philosophy, as a function, as a discipline, it is just over 100 years old. Most of you students must have learned about Taylorism and the way the Taylor actually brought in. It's all happened in the early period of last century, that is in the 1900s and that period. That's the period when industrial revolution has actually come. Most of the things which we speak today are of the industrial world. And industrial world is actually moved from when in the new world, industrial world has actually moved. It has actually moved from an oil economy to a data economy. Doesn't mean that oil is not relevant, especially at a time when the oil is in a crisis. If I say that oil is not relevant, I'm sure that most of you will not agree with that. But there is a shift happening in the world from an oil economy to a data economy. And this is not a peripheral shift. And as a researcher from different parts of the world, I'm sure that you will be actually looking at it in a much more closer aspect. What do you mean by that? If you look at the industrial revolution, which brought in the whole function of management, it is about how do you manage the shortages. How do you actually ensure that you will actually create things more affordable, accessible to people. The whole philosophy of massification came from that. If you look at the pre-industrial world is always about personalization, customization. You have smaller huts where production happens, which is very customized. Handlooms, for example, is an example of that. From that, we move to a world of massification. And most of the things today we practice are of massification. Most of the products which we see are all came from this concept of massification. And the massification brought in a lot of interesting philosophies. It brought in the whole concept of capitalism to some extent. It actually brought in the challenges of the economic differences between the people who have got capital and who actually work. We also actually brought in the concepts of newer industries coming in. In a way, last 100 years is all about this massification. But from that massification world, we are actually moving to next world of personalization. Today what we are looking at is, if you look at what is the real big change the technology has brought in, is technology has brought in high level of personalization. Today if I wanted to buy a paint, I can buy a paint which I like. If I wanted to create a product, I can like a product I want. If I want to read a book, I can create a book which I really want. So in a way, it actually moved from this mass philosophy to a personalization, or what we call as an emergence of a self. In other words, we also say from a world of economy creators, we are moving to a creator economy, where the intermediaries are actually getting weaned off. In a way, let us look back on the disciplines which we study. Look at strategy, for example. What do strategy speaks about? It speaks about competition. Now, most of the examples Dr. Mohan Kundumal has mentioned, think about it. Was there a competition or a collaboration? Think about the things which you do today, for example. If you buy a gadget, And if you want to repair that, if you wanted to use that gadget, maybe 10 years back, if you should actually look at a book or call the person who is actually service guy as such. Today, when you get a gadget and if you want to know about it, what do? You'll go to YouTube, right? And you'll see somebody must have already given you the solution to that. Have you ever asked the question, why did somebody give that data free of cost to you? Again, Dr. Mohan Kundumar spoke about Wikipedia. Have you ever thought that why should somebody contribute to Wikipedia when in the past Encyclopedia Britannica, we were actually getting royalty, but today we are giving it free? That is the world which we are speaking about. A world where people actually collaborate. People actually make access not through competition, but through collaboration. Where people are actually looking at high level of personalization. Unfortunately, our management theory has yet not talked into that. We are still get stuck in the world where we think about only massification. We think about the processes of what we call as the EOQ moment is still not gone out of that. From an economic order quantity of the Ford, which is around 250 years old formula, we have still not come out of that. We need to start thinking about that. How do researchers actually start looking at this world where products are actually going to be developed in a different manner? Think about a very simple product, which all of our life has changed. UPI, right? All of us use UPI, the Google Pays and all. Have you ever thought about it? Who developed UPI? Did it be developed by a large company? Did it be developed by a proper organization? The answer is no. It is developed by volunteers managed by NPCI. Why should a group of people create a product which changes the entire financial landscape of the country? One of the best solutions which India has given to the world as far as the lowest cost financial transaction in the world is possible. Because the world has moved from this competitive world to a collaborative world. In a way, some of you must have read this book, the singularity is near, the abundance. We have moved to a world of abundance from a world of shortage. The fundamental point which I would like to drive, and I'm sure that this seminar will be speaking about many other points of transactional improvement. My point is that transformation which we are speaking about in the management field is about that. How do we manage abundance? How do you manage prosperity? We have been taught from day one about optimization. In management class, first thing which we taught is optimization. Some of you must study operation research. Any course you do, there is an optimization. What do optimization speaks about? Optimization speaks about compromises. It says that one dimension can be improved only by negating another dimension. Why should it be? You can actually do multiple dimensions together. So when Professor Mohan Kundumar told you that you need to prepare for the future, what we need to do is how do you push the boundary? How do you move away from this optimization thinking to a maximization world? A world where abundance is going to be there. And that requires a fundamental rethinking in management. Because most of our courses, most of our practices, most of the literature in management, even today speaks about shortage management. It doesn't speak about abundance management. That is a big challenge which we have. And this is obviously a long term. Let me just put two more points and then stop. But while this long term, we should also survive short term. The real short term challenge is that how do you move from a gut-based business management to a data-based business management. Let's take a very simple example of the research most of you do. You wanted to do a marketing research. What do? You will prepare a questionnaire. And you will go and ask people, what do you like about the product? And then you will do a structural model analysis or factor analysis or all those statistical analysis you do. But do you think that when you get into an Amazon tells you what book you like, right? It has not asked you about any of these points. They have not given you a questionnaire to fill. They have not done all the analysis which you do. So why do industry doesn't do something which academics we do? Because industry has moved from that world of perception management to the actual data management. Because today, every one of us, at this moment, each of you is actually putting a lot of data into the world through your mobile phones. A smart organization can collect those data and run very sophisticated models. You have a GPU power for that. So you need not have to think what people will think, but you can actually know what people actually are going to do. That is the biggest power of technology. Technology today can actually predict with a high level of accuracy as such. But again, as I said, as a management theorist, we still have not gone into that world because our models are not still theoretical enough. We are still practicing simple models. It's time that we need to actually start looking at how do you take this database models, big database models, and start creating complex models to solve simple problems. That is an immediate requirement for us. And the last point, which is relevant in our context, especially in Kerala management research context, is that many of us actually do research in what we call as a common data bias issues. I just wanted, this is not exactly as a part of this, but since I get a set of researchers here, I'm speaking about it. Let's think about you do a research on the effect of, let's say, investors' readiness of a new financial instrument on the performance of a bank. This is a study which you do when you have money to do it. Now, you can actually do this by perception study, no problem. But why do you want to look at the performance of a bank also as a perception? Performance of a bank is already available as data, right? It is there in your balance sheet, it is there in your. But unfortunately, management researchers in India and in Kerala particularly, we do both sides perception management, which actually leads to very erroneous results. And I request that some of you are working in the new world of data economy, please desist from that. It's a time that we move from this pure perception-based research to a world of data-based research. A data-based and data cleansing is actually going to be the biggest challenge of it. So I'm sure that this conference will be speaking quite a bit on this and many other things which we are actually going to speak. We have a session on blockchain, for example. Blockchain is a classic example of, if we speak about AI, but think about AI versus blockchain. AI is actually accelerating what we do. Blockchain is not accelerating. It takes the entire world upside down. We know only about centralization all these years. Blockchain speaks about decentralization. You really require a different model to do it. Think about an HR. We know about how to manage our employees. We know about how to manage outsourced employees. But how do you manage volunteers? Especially your data, your solutions are actually done by volunteers. Half of the world's companies today do innovation not by themselves. They do through open innovation. How do you actually motivate people who are not in my roles, not even connected to me, to work for me? That is the challenge for the new HR people as well. So every field, whether it is finance, marketing, HR, or any other things, we are actually going to see a sea of change. And once we do that, again I go back to what Dr. Mohan Gundumar said, it is not that AI will replace, technology will replace radiologists, technology will replace managers, technology will actually reinvent the management. Maybe we will have a different connotation for that. But that is the real challenge which is going to happen. And we always used to say that if you think about it, it never came from doing more and more research on candle. It came from an original research. And that is what I think technology-based business management should do. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I have another meeting, so that's why I could not give a full presentation. Thank you very much and wish you all great conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing such a valuable perspective on the technology-driven business transformation. As a mark of our appreciation, we would like to present a memento. I request Dr. R. Vasanta Gopal, the Senior Professor and Director, School of Business Management and Legal Studies, to kindly present the memento to our esteemed keynote speaker.
We now proceed to the felicitation. We are truly honored to have with us eminent dignitaries who have joined us to celebrate this special occasion. To begin, I invite Professor Shaji E., Director, IQAC, University of Kerala, for the felicitation.
Good morning, all. Most respected Vice Chancellor of the University of Kerala, Professor Mohan Kundumal, Vice Chancellor, Digital University, Professor Saji Gopinath, and other dignitaries, respected delegates, professors, scholars, and friends. I'm extremely happy to be here with this 3-day international conference on tech-driven business management. I am, as an IQAC director, I always look at the management department as a versatile department because their programs are so versatile. Last time, I think they have organized a graduation ceremony day. It was indeed a great event for the university, though we don't have any graduation ceremony for the university as a whole. But they do back-to-back excellent programs. Let us congratulate the department for giving. So I don't want to talk more about these things, but I was working in a central government department for quite a long time. So I have given a management training at that time by Indian Institute of Management. There, actually, we went that with a hope that we will get a lot of lectures. But we were so happy that the first day, after the inauguration, they said you are going to see a movie. So we are so delighted. That movie was Munna Bai MBBS. And we saw that movie and they asked us to give some inferences on the management principle adopted in the movie. So it was an excellent experience. The second day, they show a video how the Daba Wala of Bombay were managing the dabas, you know. So we were delighted with extreme care without any sort of so-called error. They were distributing the tiffins from the home to the, maybe lakhs of tiffins were distributed, or even still it is being continued. So the management principles are keep changing. Therefore, yesterday I saw a film called Aadu 3, okay, Malayalam movie. I was surprised, you know, they have crossed the time. So they are not moving in a linear way. So the management should follow a non-linear way. Don't follow the way they teach. You should adapt to the surrounding things. So when I was a kid, you know, energy management, മലയാളത്തിൽ ഞാൻ പറയാം, അന്ന് ഈ വലിയ അംബാസഡർ കാറാണ്, അത് ഇറക്കത്തിൽ കൊണ്ട് ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ അവർ ന്യൂട്രൽ അടിക്കും ടു സേവ് എനർജി, ബിക്കോസ് ന്യൂട്രൽ അടിച്ച് കുറേ ദൂരം പോകുമെന്ന് പറയും മലയാളത്തിൽ. ഓക്കെ, so that type of management is not applicable now. So now the energy is changing. I mean, from the fossil fuel to the green energy. So from the tech-driven management, maybe I do not know. But what I would say is that the world is changing. Therefore, you should concentrate on a management with human touch. The emotional intelligence require more attention because you are losing some concepts called empathy, the human relationship, peace, etc. Peace is not a matter of not having war. It is the harmony. It is the harmony of respect, give respect, take respect, and respect the countries, respect others. So that sort of a management with human touch is the need of the hour, because sometimes, you know, the graduates or the masters of business management, you may not be controlling the institution or the people. You may be giving them with a human touch. That's more important, because you know the human brain, when you born, and it is just like an unorganized machine. It become a universal machine after getting a lot of experience, lot of education. Then only you will become a real global citizen. Earlier, the demand was only for the local. If you are born at Trivandrum, your expertise, management, or whatever is required for that locality. But now the world is looking at you. Therefore, you require a global competence. So that is essentially we wanted. Maybe the tech-driven business management, these issues you will discuss in this 3-day international conference. I am extremely happy to be part of this. I once again congratulate Professor Vasanta Gopal, Professor Suresh Kumar, and Dr. Ambish Mohan team for organizing such a wonderful workshop. I wish all the success for this conference. Thank you so much.
Next, I invite Ms. Meenakshi Sujit, General Secretary, Department Students Union, for the felicitation.
Good morning all. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kerala University, Professor Mohanan Kunnumal, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Digital University, Professor Saji Gopinath, and other esteemed dignitaries on and off the dais. So it's a great honor to be part of this inaugural ceremony of the 3-day International Conference on Tech-Driven Business Management, Navigating Challenges and Seizing Opportunities. So with scholars from all over the world, so this conference, it focuses providing a clear insight on the future of emerging technologies and also its impact on business and also on the society. So on behalf of Department Students Union, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the organizers, wishing the seminar a great success. Thank you.
I would like to invite Dr. Ambesh Mohan S., Assistant Professor, IMK, to present a token of appreciation to Professor Shaji E. and Ms. Meenakshi Suji.
Thank you all for your encouraging and thoughtful words. As we come to the end of this inaugural session, it's time to express our gratitude. I would like to invite Dr. Ambesh Mohan S., the Assistant Professor, IMK, to propose the vote of thanks.
Professor Mohanan Kunnumal, Professor Saji Gopinath, Professor R. Vasanta Gopal, Professor K. S. Suresh Kumar, Professor E. Shaji, Ms. Meenakshi, other dignitaries of the dais. So the right tone is set for a very serious, productive academic deliberation that spread over 3 days here. As academics, we all are very happy that we could get a very solid beginning for this deliberations here. Being a member of the organizing committee, I am so happy that we got the presence of eminent academic researchers in this particular session. As it is already being pointed out, it is not an easy task to organize an event of this scale. And the master craft behind this is Professor Dr. R. Vasanta Gopal, the Director, School of Business Management and Legal Studies, University of Kerala. On behalf of the august audience, let me express our sincere gratitude to Professor R. Vasanta Gopal. Professor Mohan Kunnumal, in his usual style, he cited real-world examples related to the topic that is very contemporary and set the right tone for this deliberation. On behalf of IMK and all those who assembled here, let me express our sincere gratitude to Professor Mohan Kunnumal, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Kerala. Dr. Saji Gopinath rightly pointed out the radical change in contemporary business practices, and he reiterated the need to adopt a radical change in the way management is transacted in the classroom and it is being researched in the present scenario. It is only because of the amount of time that he confined his presentation to maybe to few minutes, but it was really thought-provoking, and he further fine-tuned the tone that is
said by the Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Kerala. We are very grateful to Professor Saji Gopinath for his gracious presence and the meaningful deliberation. On behalf of the organizing committee, let me thank Professor Saji Gopinath also. We are grateful to the presence of Professor Shaji E, the Director IQAC, who is always a motivator and supporter for all the academic and other activities undertaken by IMK. Sir, thank you very much for your presence and support. The presence of Meenakshi as a representative of the students' fraternity is very much appreciated, and I thank Meenakshi for the support extended. I thank Dr. A.S. Manoj, Mr. Srikumar V, Mr. S. Subramanian, Mr. Ashok Kuriyal Pallikaran, Head of the Department, Professor Dr. K.S. Suresh Kumar, for the support extended and the motivation and encouragement that is being rendered. I am grateful to the researchers, the participants from various institutions around the globe, whose presence and support will make this academic endeavor more fruitful. I extend our sincere gratitude to all the members of the organizing committee, because they are working, striving hard over the last 3 months to materialize this particular event. Once again, I thank one and all for the support, presence, and look forward your continuing support in the coming days also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the heartfelt vote of thanks. With this, we conclude the inaugural ceremony of this prestigious conference. Today marks the beginning of conversations that will transform industries, inspire leadership, and redefine business in a digital era. Thank you all for your gracious presence. Wishing you an engaging and insightful 3 days ahead. Have a wonderful day. The refreshment counter is now open for tea and snacks. Kindly help yourselves. Thank you. We shall resume the panel discussion after 15 minutes of tea break. Kindly come back for the same. Thank you. We now move on to one of the most engaging segments of today's conference, the panel discussion. This session brings together distinguished professionals from industry and academia who will share their perspectives on technology-driven business management, the challenges ahead, and the opportunities that lie within innovation. To guide this enriching discussion, we have with us our esteemed moderator, Mr. S. Subramanian, IAS, Public Relations Officer, Lok Bhavan, Kerala. Shri S. Subramanian, an officer of the prestigious Indian Civil Service belonging to 2001 batch of Indian Information Service, presently serves as a Public Relation Officer to the Honorable Governor of Kerala with responsibilities of building an effective public interface with the first office of the state. With a distinguished career spanning over 25 years in both at the central and state government. Some of the key responsibilities held by him are Director, Public Relation Ministry of Defense, Government of India, Deputy Director, Press Information Bureau, New Delhi, Regional Officer, Censor Board of Film Certification, a B.Tech rank holder from CET College of Engineering, Trivandrum, followed by an MBA degree in General Management and Marketing. Sir, we are honored to have you moderate this insightful session. I welcome you onto the dais. Now, it's my privilege to introduce our respected panelists, Mr. Sri Kumar B., Center Head, Tata Elxsi and Secretary, G-Tech. With extensive experience in technology leadership and industry collaboration, we look forward to your valuable insights, sir. Please. Mr. Muralidharan Manningal, Chief Executive Officer, ICT Academy of Kerala. Your contributions towards skill development and technology education make this discussion even more meaningful. Welcome, sir. Dr. Manoj A.S., Head, Learning and Development, KDISC. Your expertise in knowledge-driven innovation and workforce transformation will surely add depth to today's conversation. Welcome, sir. Mr. Ashok Kurian Panyikaran, Senior Manager, Research and Development, KSUM. Your experience in startup ecosystem development and innovation makes your presence invaluable to this panel. Welcome, sir. We warmly welcome all our distinguished panelists and thank you for joining us. Without further ado, I request our moderator, Mr. S. Subramanian, IAS, to kindly take over the session and lead us through this engaging discussion.
A very hearty good morning to you all. Am I audible? A very hearty good morning to you all. Today, on the opening session of the new business landscape, which is being either driven by AI or we choose to drive the AI. That is the topic that we are going to discuss today. Here we have 4 eminent personalities proved their mettle by working in the technology landscape for the last 20 to 25 years. We have Sri Kumar, who is heading Tata Elxsi with more than 25 years of working in this field. Sri Muralidharan from ICT Academy of Kerala, one of its kind, unique in Kerala, if I am not mistaken. Sri Manoj, and also Sri Ashok. The important aspect of all these 4 panelists are that they have worked in the technology landscape at a time when Indian economy was just opening up and technology was just a name that we had heard in during our academic days. Sri Kumar, who passed out from CET in 1988, was telling me that actually his course had got lacked and he ended up wasting 1 year. But it didn't matter at that time because campus interview was not something that was heard of. But it is now everything is determined or guided by artificial intelligence. In the opening remarks that we had in the last session, Srimati Akshaya, who was the computer here, she was mentioning that while it is the artificial intelligence that decides the business, we have to ensure that we remain intelligently digital. These were the words that was used by Srimati Akshaya here. We have to choose that we remain intelligently digital. It is not just the other way around, not digitally intelligent, but intelligently digital. When you say that it is intelligently digital, we put a premium on the human aspects that governs technology, that governs business, and also that governs the human interface. It is with this opening note that I throw this discussion open for the first panel discussion on technology-driven business management that enables or facilitates our students to navigate, or rather to negotiate the challenges that have been put forth by the technology in the new age business environment. Thank you very much. With this opening remarks, we open the stage for an initial 10 minutes discussion for each and every participant. After every 10 minutes, towards the end of the 40 minutes, we will have one small question answer session where I'm sure budding entrepreneurs and management specialists will have a lot of things to ask from those people who have proven their mettle in the field of management. And after that, we would conclude with a small wind-up session. Thank you. Shall we begin? First, is there anyone who would like to go early? No. Okay. First, I would take this opportunity to call Sri V. Sri Kumar, who is the center head of Tata Elxsi and who is also heading Group of Technologies, GTech. I hope that it is a 4-year tenure. You have been there for 4 years, and even in Raj Bhavan, we have interacted with Sri V. Sri Kumar on several occasions. Now the floor is yours, Sri V. Sri Kumar.
Thank you. Very good morning to all of you here. At the outset, let me congratulate IMK and the organizers for organizing such conferences year after year. I think last year, about six months back, I was here in this campus for another event, similar event. As we conduct such kind of events, when academia, industry, other eminent personalities talk to the student community and to the faculty community, it is bringing together academia and industry one way. We always say that industry and academia function in isolation or in silos. They never collaborate, or the gap between academia and industry widens always. Such occasions actually prove otherwise. We work closely together, or try to be closer and try to bridge the gap and bring industry and academia together for the best future of the country. Now, coming to the topic again. Today we all hear the most heard phrase or word is artificial intelligence. Wherever we go, there cannot be a session without a discussion on artificial intelligence and its effects. The hype around artificial intelligence has been too much that if somebody says I am not aware of it, or I am not really knowledgeable of artificial intelligence, it becomes a very awkward situation. But we've not reached a situation where we have AI in its complete form too. it's evolving, and it's in the journey of evolution of artificial intelligence in various aspects of societal life. We are somewhere in the middle. It is almost like we should assume that it is in a half-cooked condition, where it's practically impossible to predict what effects it's going to bring into the society and into the whole human life in the coming years. But whatever it is, whatever positive or negative it is going to bring in, it's going to come very fast. What happened, as Mr. Subramanian told, what happened in the last 25 or 30 years would happen in 2 or 3 years in the coming years. The change is going to be so fast and drastic. It's going to hit us with all the volume and all the effect on us. Having said that, whenever I go to campuses, I have a common question from the audience, from the student community. Are we going to lose jobs? Is it going to be dark days ahead? Is the doomsday coming? Artificial intelligence is going to take away all the jobs, and are we going to get hired from colleges? Are we going to get jobs, basically? This question comes very frequently. Look at the trends over the last 2 years. Apart from artificial intelligence, there are so many geopolitical and business factors which govern across the globe. We have had fewer campus hiring in the last 2 years. Across engineering colleges in Kerala, even if you look at the data from Kerala engineering colleges, the hiring from campuses have gone down in the last 2 years, particularly gone down very much this year. That was not because of artificial intelligence, it was because we overhired in the period just after COVID. Companies across country, in a changing situation, in the disruption that was caused by COVID, we went ahead, looking at the pipeline of opportunities, we went ahead and hired in large numbers. Jokingly, we used to say in Technopark, whoever went by the side of Technopark got hired those days. And this huge additional fat that is accumulated in companies is prevented from hiring this year. That is, I'm talking about 25, 26. But this is a temporary situation. This is going to improve in the coming years. But definitely, keeping in mind the effect of AI that's going to cause, the effect that's going to be in the industry, it will be a controlled hiring that will happen for the next 2 to 3 years. And as Mr. Subramanian said earlier, people who understand AI, who will continue to learn AI, will have better prospects. After a brief period, there could be a boom in hiring too. AI will bring volume of jobs again, but after a brief period, then the hiring will again start coming. We are presently witnessing a scenario where young startups are exceedingly successful in the AI sphere. So that's also happening. Basically, we are passing through a disruptive phase, even otherwise. We are seeing terrible disruption across the globe now. Over the last 2 weeks, some warmongering dictators are disrupting terribly the entire world order. And we do not know what impact it's going to create on businesses. It definitely is not going to be a positive impact. So we all have to adapt to changing times ahead. We have to adapt ourselves. If somebody asks me what is the biggest skill that youngsters need to acquire in the coming years, it is adaptability. And your education does not stop by a master's or a doctoral program. It is continuing learning, continuous learning, all the time, till the last day of your careers. That is one tip that I would give all the learners community here. We are all going to be learners. We are not going to finish our education. Till the last day of your career, you will continuously learn. Not only learn, unlearn, relearn, and adapt to a new situation. So that's going to be the changing landscape in the coming years. We need to adapt ourselves to the new and newer situations that will come. Apart from what AI will cause to the industry and to businesses across the globe, we have other factors too, as we see over the last month or so, which will directly affect our lives. It has come. In 2 weeks, it has come to our kitchens now. So it's going to affect us in our social life and your daily life. World has become so dramatically driven and very fast changing that we will find it difficult to adapt to that kind of changes. I'll stop here. We have questions coming from the moderator on the topic later, and we'll dwell into the topic as it comes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Kumar, for giving a very, very important lesson on the importance of adaptability, of learning, relearning, and continuous learning that keeps us always on our feet. Because the sand on which we stand, the sand is eroding at a much faster pace than we can ever hope to gallop. With this note, it's my pleasure to invite Shri Manoj. Presentation is ready.
Yeah, first of all, good morning all. Good morning. Right. So I'll be taking maybe 10, 15 minutes maximum to share my insights on this area like tech-driven business management, and it will be in line with what the two vice chancellors talked about, right? And I don't know, it was a coincidence or even accidental that whatever examples they brought in, I just took it as a case study to analyze as well as to share with you the insights with regard to tech-driven business management. So the areas I like to touch with regard to this is like, you can ask questions with regard to that once the presentation is over, like the technology landscape, the core technology pillars, the real case studies and skills for future. That is something which is very important. And even finally, what even the DUK Vice Chancellor said is like where you become redundant or how you become relevant in today's world and your action roadmap. This is what I want to share with you. See, the numbers don't lie. As you know that the scale of digital disruption which is happening, excuse me, can you change the slide? Yeah. So the numbers don't lie. The scale of digital disruption which happens like around 3.4 trillion global digital transformation spend. This has been projected investment by 2026 by the IDC. Around 89% of enterprises adopting digital first of all large companies based on the report by the Gartner. 70% of digital transformation fail. This is based on data. Even we talked about researchers where data becomes a very important factor. Like, so digital transformation fail around 70% due to people, process gap, not technology. It's not because of technology. 87% of skill gap still exist, right? Of executive reports as a critical digital talent shortage. So that is the question we have to ask as professionals or management grads. You have to ask to yourself, 2.5 million new tech management jobs expect to be created by 2025 by the report by the World Economic Forum. 4x faster growth, right? So you know the growth trajectory from the first industrial revolution to the fourth, and now the world is started thinking about the fifth one. The speed of digitally mature organization. So the four technology pillars we talk about, like the artificial intelligence and ML. When you talk about the artificial intelligence, people say that everything will be taken care of by the artificial intelligence, but there are areas where human brain or human intervention is very, very important. Even the role has to be changed. So you have to change the role. The machine will not change. You have to change the role. So how you can change the role? How automating decisions, predicting markets, personalized customer experience at scale. Then cloud and edge computing, then big data. Data is very important, big data analytics. Then automation and robotics. These are the game changers and the four pillar technology which is going to be instrumental for the years to come. The key challenges as managers, which you as a person should navigate, is like cybersecurity and the data privacy. So these are the four pillars, like the cybersecurity and safety, about digital talent gap, then about the legal legacy system integration and change management. So these are some of the areas where we face challenges. Rising threats demand proactive governance, frameworks, and compliance strategies. Even the Saisar was also talking about the strategy, how the strategy is going to change in this digital world. Then digital talent gap, that is exists. We say that 89 to 90% of digital gap still exists. Finding, retaining professionals. Gone are the years where people work for a single organization for 20 odd years. So finding and retaining professionals who can bridge business strategy with technology execution. Then legacy system integration. So migrating outdated infrastructures, most of the companies trying to do it while keeping the operations running seamlessly without any interruptions. Change management, driving that culture. And next is about the building the digital talent gap. What are the things we can do? One is the upskilling programs. As universities like this, they have to have a structured reskilling for the existing employees or students, which can become a game changer. And university partnerships. So as we know that, unfortunately, we usually can lament and saying that we don't have that ecosystem which works, but we should follow the other university ecosystems, or in US, like the quadruple helix, where the industries comes to play a vital role, along with the academic research institutions, government agencies, plus the civic society plays a vital role. We call it as a quadruplex model, which can really help to bridge the talent gap. Then remote and gig models, as you know, that gig economy is powerful now. Most of the organizations started trying it around 35 to 47% of people right now. They are moving into the freelancing gig economy mode. And because it's gone are the days where people just sit on there and doing the old type of traditional job systems where they want to really use or enable technology where they can showcase their skill sets and competency for doing something different. Retain talent through belongingness and growth, which is very important. So where technology creates competitive advantage, smarter decision making, hyper personalization. Today, even if you remember, Saisar was talking about personalization, right? From customization to massification to personalization. So hyper personalization, AI enables businesses to tailor products, pricing and communications to individual customers at scale. New market access, operational efficiency. This is what even technology can really bring in. So one of the case study which I took is like the Amazon, turning technology into competitive mode. How they took technology into competitive mode. AWS generates over $90 billion annually. Business born from solving infrastructure challenges. You know how the growth trajectory of Amazon. And Amazon's AI-driven recommendation engine drives 35% of total revenue. And its robotic fleet of 750,000 plus units. That's a mind-boggling statistics. Right? And so management lesson you can learn is like technology is not just a support function. I reiterate that fact. It is the business strategy. So that is the change we have to brought in even to our B schools. So what you can see is like when you do demand forecasting they use the technology like ML algorithms, predict inventory needs, not the old AOQs or the bed analysis or the ABC analysis, right? And which needs over 90% accuracy, reducing overstock by 35%. Robotics in fulfillment, around 750,000 Kiva Robotics operates in Amazon warehouses. And personalization engine, 35% of the Amazon's revenue is driven by AI. So key takeaway, investing in proprietary technology infrastructure creates compounding competitive advantage over time. This is not working. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. So you can see the drastic change which is happening in that with regard to the operating system. So the demand forecasting, what is the percentage of accuracy while they use ML? The robotic in fulfillment, around 750,000 Kiva robot and personalized engine. So this is something which is changing the whole context of the world. So we have to equip ourselves if you want to be moving in line with the technological trends which is happening in the industry. Then today morning also people talk about Elon, right? Elon Musk and Tesla. I took it as Tesla as one of the key differentiation, product differentiation. So Tesla does not just manufacture cars. So don't feel that they are just manufacturing cars. It operates connected data platform. You talk about the Swiggy, the Zomatos of the world. It's the platform which makes the difference. So it's just connected data platform on wheels. With all So 40% reduction in warranty cost via predictive diagnostics, and zero spend on traditional advertising. They are not spending any money on traditional advertising. That's the beauty of Tesla. Then the next, one of the biggest company, like the Walmart, you know, right? The chain, the retail chain they have, they use this blockchain. We talked about blockchain, the hyperledgers which we use, which have more security, transforming the supply chain trust. So why can't we bring this type of things into our organizations, and how can you really become experts in those things like the blockchains of the world? So the major E. coli outbreak, Walmart partnered with IBM. So this is collaboration again. Deploy a blockchain-based food traceability system. So that is what even morning also Saisa talked about. It's not competition, it's collaboration, right? The result was transformative. So before blockchain, tracing a mango's origin took 7 days of manual recording, checking across multiple suppliers and regions. After blockchain, it is just in 2.2 seconds. So that is the beauty of technology. So we have to really harness that, and we have to equip ourselves in that. And next is about Netflix. You know, you talk about today morning, we were talking about the other part, like the Wikipedia or even the Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica and all, right? So Netflix, how it started from DVD rentals to AI-powered entertainment. So content recommendation engine, 1 billion per year. Data-driven content investment, house of cards, right? And dynamic pricing. So that makes them totally a different organization. Then something which the Kerala VC also talked about, the Zomatos and Swiggy of the world, the algorithms running the food economy, right? The hyperlocal AI, the dynamic pricing, the customer retention. So even though they're not owning any restaurants, but it's connected, it's collaborated. So that is where the technology has a value, so the impact which creates. And another important thing is like, AI is no longer a departmental tool. It was not with the software engineers or even the IT alone. It is a cross-functional strategic lever and amplifies the decision across every management domain, like marketing, HR, finance, operations. You can see I'm not getting into the details of it as we don't have the time. So AI is no longer a departmental tool. It's just a cross-functional strategic lever. So that amplifies the decision across every management domain, be it marketing, be it HR, be it finance, be it operations, whatever you say. So that is how it really helps and takes the leverage. So here you can see in marketing that the personalized campaigns, sentiment analysis, which you do, even for HRs we can use. We can understand how many people will be with us for next 5 years using sentiment analysis. And even for market understanding and all, we can use such analysis and those tools, predictive tools. In finance, fraud detection, where blockchain also comes into the picture. For HR, talent acquisition, performance analysis. Operation supply chain optimization, predictive maintenance, where we can all use the 4 strategies, scenario modeling. Scenario modeling all is done through using this AI and the information technology tools. And the customer service and chatbots and NPS predictions. All this can be done using this. This is where the change happens. And this is how the grooming of the profession should also happen. This is what is the expectation, the need of the industry. The technological adaptation, this is based on the McKinsey report. You can see like how the AI cloud automation is seeing, right, with regard to the fastest growth and what is the investment which they expect double in 2027. Business function with regard to AI adoption. Marketing and sales around 67%, supply chain 61%. So customer service around 58%, finance and accounting 52%, HR and talent 44%, R&D and products 39%. So every year it's going up. So it will double by 2027 according to the study conducted by McKinsey. And the rise of data-driven decision-making, as I told you earlier, like McKinsey research confirms that organizations making decisions rooted in data perform peers by 23% in profitability and 19% in revenue growth. So the gap is widening every year. For aspiring managers, your takers, data literacy is now as a functional and foundation as financial literacy. It's a foundation. So data literacy, apart from financial literacy, I think this is the foundation. And learn to ask the right questions from the data. So data really speaks volumes and it don't lie. The opportunities for the management students and emerging leaders, tech business hybrid roles, because hybrid roles are coming, growing fast growing, highly paid, entrepreneurs and startups. And about consulting and advisory, entrepreneurship and startup, I'm not talking about it because my colleague Ashok is there, he'll be briefing about it. The global remote leadership, lead distributed teams, you can sit, that is also, I think, in today's morning discussion, it was there. You can sitting there, volunteer, you can even manage volunteer sitting somewhere else and manage the business. The future manager skill stack, this is what is based on a study, hard skills and soft skills to develop. So the hard skills like data literacy, very important. It's not only for engineers or technical grads, even for management graduates, else management education will be in RIP mode very soon, if we are not changing. So data literacy, the SQL, the Excel, Power BI, Tableau basics, the AI fluency, prompt engineering, ML model evaluation, digital finance, like the fintech tools, crypto literacy, SaaS metrics and all, you have to learn. And you should understand how it has been applied to make you relevant in this coming years. Softwares that multiply, adaptive leadership, ethical judgment. This is how the future manages skill stack with regard to technology. So the emerging technologies in horizon, I told you like sorry, I didn't change that. So these are the important skill sets which I want to share with you. So the digital literacy, you can see the SQL, Excel, Power BI, the Tableau basics, AI fluency, prompt engineering, ML and model evaluation. The digital finance, the fintech tools, the crypto literacy, the SaaS metrics, these are something which as youngsters or professionals you have to develop. And this is what the world is also looking for. And the emerging technology on horizons, two more slides, generative AI, you know about all the tools and all, blockchain in business, how blockchain has been used. This is a world of metaverse and immersive work, and quantum computing is also getting a lot of catch also in coming days, even for problem solving in logistics, drug discovery, financial modeling and all. So I'm not taking this, and so the digital transformation adoption curve, this is how the curve goes with regard to that across the three pillars, AI, cloud and automation, which is the fundamental thing, which is leading in terms of the new technological pathway, where you can see the cloud adoption that comes around almost 90%. Around the AI adoption is almost 84%, and the automation almost around 79 to 80%. This is how it has been moving right now. Then couple of things like, so this is the slide which I talks about the digital transformation adoption curve for your kind information. Then about ethical dimensions of tech-driven management, like the data privacy. Then about the algorithmic bias as well as the workforce displacement, where we can use this technology, which will really help us. Then about 90-day tech leadership action plan. So what you have to do, what is the action plan you like to bring in? Like you have to learn, apply, network and access. These are the four mantras where you can really become a tech-oriented person so that you become relevant and sustainable in this world. And the future belongs to those who bridge the business and technology. For students, for professionals, and for leaders, you can see. For students, I may say we call it as a T-shaped skill. So T-shaped skill is nothing but it represents a combination of deep expertise in one specific area, that's a vertical bar, and a broad cross-disciplinary skills or knowledge. So a combination of this both will really help you to become relevant and so that you become competent in this world. It is very difficult for you to sustain because it's not just a competition, you become irrelevant, right? Or what is the value I can able to play once you go out of this institute? For professionals, champion digital initiatives in your organization, position yourself as a bridge between the boardrooms and technology team. For leaders, invest in continuous learning. We talked about, even Srinivas sir also talking about learning, unlearning and relearning. So that is very important. So it's a continuous lifelong learning is important right now to become relevant. Else, our life expectancy in terms of being relevant will be very less. So the half-life of the business knowledge is shrinking. So stay curious, stay relevant, and stay ahead. So before I wind up, this is something which I like to share with you, the T-shaped managers for tomorrow. This is what the companies look for. The T skills like the data literacy, the AI tools, the cloud platforms, the digital marketing and automation workflows. So this is what is going to be the game changer for the managers for tomorrow. Else, again, I reiterate what I said, even Saisar also talking about that will be the end of the MBAs, right? So that is what we look for, and this is what you have to really develop. The T skills for your kind information. Try to develop this, and you become competent, you become relevant, and you can add value to society. Thank you.
Thank you Sri Manoj, who spoke about the competitive advantage of technology, not just the competitive advantage, but the compounding effect that the competitive advantage of technology can bring in for our society. Thank you very much. And I should also congratulate you because your presentation was a very illustrative presentation with a lot of graphs, graphics. I am sure that for the prospective students here, that will be quite useful. Thank you very much once again. Now we move over to another key speaker. That applause is for you, Manoj. Now we move over to Sri Muralidharan Maningal, who is heading Kerala State ICT Academy. As some of you might be aware, Kerala State ICT Academy is an academy that is instituted by the government to serve as a midwife as to how the state can transform itself from a traditional society to an information society. And as we stand here today, Sri Muralidharan Maningal is the champion of that transition, or perhaps the guardian who stewards that transition in shaping the contours of a society towards a better future. Sri Muralidharan Maningal.
Thank you, IMG, and thanks for the kind words. Probably I need to stand that corrected. I come with more of a corporate experience, and here I'm playing a role, how I can be a catalyst in enabling the students with the skills required to work in the industry. I think that's what ICT Academy do, so bridging the skill gap and enhance the employability of the youth. So let me share a few stories from my experience. So I've been working with the IT sector for about last three decades. So early 90s, mid 90s to say till now. So when I look the journey, the digital journey, so how it's been changed over a period of time. I'm sure that some of you are having, a lot of you are with the students or researchers out here in this community, right? How many of you are having some coding background? Any of you? Any of you are having any coding background, application development coding background? No, which is good. How many of you have developed or created an application using generative AI? Anyone? Are you aware that we can create an application without knowing not even a single bit of coding? Right? So I just last 1 month's time, I come across 2 of the startups, founders met me. So they were telling solutions in the edtech side. So how they are helping the learners and creating an ecosystem to identify the right skills and right courses for the learners. So in those guys are without having any coding background. They have the one fantastic, wonderful idea. They created an application with no or less knowledge of IT development. And of course, they have further added with tech skills to launch the product. So I think that is an opportunity we have in the current era. So when we look at the journey of the digitization, earlier we used to do that in the probably 30, 40 years back, we used to digitize it, everything. Whatever we have it in the physical form, we are converting that into digital formats. Okay, so keeping that in an electronic format, that's all. But subsequently that has been changed into adding little element of intelligence. So digitalization, some element of automation has added to that, right? So then gradually, we said we have done digitalization, but that's not effective. Then the people started talking about transformation. I'm sure that these are the jargons you'll come across as part of your management programs. The transformation is where you are applying the business process re-engineering, re-looking at the process and how do you optimize the process and develop a system or a systems, to give an effective, efficient way of products and services. That is about the digital transformation. But now we are in an intelligent era. We are using the data. We have built a lot of systems. We have created a lot of digital assets. Now we are looking at how do we leverage how do you reap the benefit of this data created in making the effective decisions. Okay, I think that is an era we are living in. I think that has been transformed over our period of time, and that is getting accelerated as we speak. So what has been changed over the last about 30, 40 years? What has been changed to give the exponential growth for the adoption of these technologies? One is the accessibility and affordability of the technology. So I used to work in, about 22 years back, we have been doing some of the ML project for customers in the US. So that's the time the tools what we have was limited. We used to work with the SaaS, and getting an infrastructure to run the SaaS license itself was costly. Then getting an infrastructure to run that was costly. Then getting the data, especially the client-specific data, that's again more challenging one. All those challenges are getting addressed as we speak now, because we are having a well-connected systems where we can safely, securely transfer the data. We have the infrastructure and the compute capability easily and affordably accessible to everyone. Okay, so that is enabling a lot of people to adopt these technologies to fast track the decision making or intelligence adoption in the whole system. So there, 20 years back, we used to develop econometrics model for the credit risk market, credit risk modeling for Indian market. That's what we used to do it. And another one was for predictive model for customer retention, those kind of things for a customer in US. So that was limited. We used to hire people with statistics, econometrics background, either PhD or MS stat kind of people background. But now it's not the case. So we don't need to have much of the stat background. Still, you can develop and deploy models. Okay, we still need, a core stat or mathematical background for identifying, developing model. That is still required. But with limited knowledge of what you call a stat or mathematical strong background, we can still develop models. Even without knowing any coding, we can develop and deploy applications. That's the era we are living in now. So that has enabled opportunity for many firms. So last couple of weeks time, probably about 2-3 weeks back, you would have heard about a news, right? In the market share of the IT companies have gone down by about 10%. TCS, Infosys, Wipro, all those companies, not only in India, across the globe, right? So what was the trigger for that? So one of the AI company, Anthropic, they released a new product, Claude Code or Claude Cowork. Okay, so what it does is that, so whatever typically when you are doing a development, the developer will look into the requirement, then will develop the design the applications, then develop it, then get that validated with experts, right? So the kind of vibe coding has been enhanced to bring that level of intelligence. The chain of thought, multiple agents involved, and the agent is nothing but doing a specific task in an automated manner. Okay, so multiple agents started working together to bring a quality code at scale. Okay, so that is eliminating or bringing down the need for human, especially at the entry level. So that gave a trigger in the share market, which brought down the share price, the market cap of most of companies, IT companies, by about 8.5 to 7.5 to 10%. So that's the kind of impact we are seeing is. So I think, Sri Kumar and others talked about, yes, there are opportunities coming up, but it's one fact is that some of the roles are getting impacted. That's a fact. But along with that, we are getting a lot of other opportunities too. But in net, yes, there are potential, there are opportunities. But how well are we prepared to grab those opportunities? I think that is very important. Earlier, when you talk about, I'm sure that some of you are interested in getting into the consulting world. I'm an advisor with the Bain. So when you talk about McKinsey, Bain, or MBB companies, or Big Fours, so people talk about, a 25-year-old person advising a person with 25-year experience. It is not the 25-year person giving the advice. It is the expertise of the company with which the person is working. That knowledge is what is being leveraged when he or she is advising the company. That is getting by virtue of using the AI tools or AI. So that is giving more opportunity for companies to give advice to more companies. Earlier, most of the MBB companies used to work with Fortune 100, 500 companies. Now they have an opportunity to even get into the MSME sector, SME sector. Okay, because they can use the tools, they can use the technologies to reach mass market. Okay, so that is giving an opportunity for the tools to reach more and more customers. Okay, so with the technology adoption, it is giving more personalized I'm sure that VCs talked about the hyper-personalization. So when I'm looking for a product, Dr. Manoj talked about, the Netflix and other examples. When you're talking in the educational sector, so as we speak that, we are talking about, especially with the academia, university students, all are interested in knowing that how AI can be used for the effective teaching, learning, and research. So there are tools available for the entire life cycle of the research, identifying the problem statement to publication and awarding the degree. But how do you use it in a ethical and secure and effective way? So that is one of the thing. The pedagogy. How do you align with the what you call the ethical considerations of the academics? I think that is the questions we are having it. Most of the universities or academics are encouraging them to mention if you are using any of the tools in the research publications or in the what you call journals, right? So I think that is not stopping the people to use technology. Use the technology, but use in an ethical and effective manner. I think the same thing is happening even in the company's world. So I was associated with one of the governmental experience. I'll talk about it. I was associated with one of the standard committee for the Government of India, drafting enterprise architecture for the Government of India. That was in 17-18 period, 2017-2018 period. So that is to draft. Enterprise architecture is nothing but creating a framework. How do we develop a IT ecosystem for an enterprise and what kind of considerations we need to have it. It is nothing but similar to that of a city planning. When you are planning a city, we need to have roads, parks, schools, hospitals, all those kind of things. Likewise, when you are planning an IT infrastructure, IT ecosystem, what kind of considerations we need to have there? That is all about the IT enterprise architecture. So when you're drafting that in 2017-18, so I got an opportunity to draft the vision statement. So my vision statement was to create the effective IT infrastructure with a tagline of AI first approach. But that got shot down in 2017-18 period. Then the reason was, it is too early to talk about AI. But we are just about 7 or 8 years after that. Now all are talking about AI. India had recently convened a India AI Summit, one of the largest AI conferences or AI get together across the globe. And we have seen that most of the leading players were part of that. Okay, and we are seeing in India, especially when you're talking about India is getting one of the hub, the Kerala or India, we have the best talent. Okay, we have the talent and how we can reap the benefit of that. And one, adopting those technologies for our purpose, especially the technology areas, segments like agriculture. A lot of people are adopting AI for effective crop, the effective improvement in the production of crops. Okay. And healthcare, they are playing significantly in one is preventing the disease and one is the drug discovery to treatment purposes. Okay. Many areas, it has been applied. Okay. And that is an area where we are having a huge potential. One, not just adopting the technologies, using the technology, one for getting the economic growth of the state and the country. Second is about adopting these technologies to make a significant improvement in our socio-economic life. But one of the key considerations that both the government, enterprise or academy, all are talking about is the pace at which the technology is getting changed. Because many times the government will come with the regulations and the standards and the controls. But with the AI, it is a little different because the technology is changing so fast. The regulations, the controls, what we have is still not very mature anywhere in the world. Okay, that is still catching up. But it is up to us, the technology providers, technology creators, and the adopters to use these technologies in an ethical and effective manner with the human in mind. I'm sure that with that mindset, we can make a transformative change. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Muralitharan Manningal, who spoke about the importance of how we should not lose the opportunity to seize the opportunity that technology provides. In fact, the next speaker of this morning's session is from Kerala State Startup Mission. Startup Mission itself is an institution that has been launched by the government of Kerala to seize the opportunity of, or grabbing that opportunity for utilizing it for the betterment of our society. And we have Sri Ashok. I'm very glad to invite him on the dais. He represents the youngest of all the panelists here. He's bringing in about 15 years of experience of having worked in different sectors of information technology and also in startups. I feel that your inputs on startup will be quite useful for practicing managers here. Shri Ashok.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the kind introduction. First of all, I would like to congratulate IMK. Being an IMK ICM alumni, I would like to congratulate IMK for hosting this wonderful seminar kind of thing. So we were speaking about a lot of things. So I would like to understand how many of you have used ChatGPT? Very good. In my times when I was studying in MBA, I used to have hours, days to write the project reports kind of thing. So is it easy now? Yes. So what technology have changed? It have saved your time. It in fact have saved your time to understand lot of things happening in and around the world. So I used to read lot of research papers, try to understand how this project report should look like, what the management theories should look like, how that should be implemented kind of thing. So now with a single prompt, you are able to go through all the research papers which you have never heard about, all the great research papers, and you will get a great content which can be presented there. Only thing you should also understand while implementing all those things, you should also learn how all those things can be implemented, how it is to be implemented, what are the methods, what are the methodologies used. So all these things you also should have to understand. That's the only thing you have to keep in your mind. So by the technology, you have saved lot of your time. The second thing, primarily in terms of management, so how the decision is taken? How are we usually taking the decisions? Is it your personal instinct, or how the decision is made in a management level? Any answers? How? Yeah, exactly. So how the decision is, it primarily based on the experience. Based on the experience is what we are making the decision. Now it's all data driven. So when we are speaking it's data driven, it's much more accurate, it's much more important, and the decision which you take from the data you receive is much more valuable for a organization to grow. So how the data been used? So how many of you have used Gemini? How many of you have used that in Excel sheet kind of thing to validate that? So if for those who have not used, prepare a questionnaire and validated it through a Gemini kind of thing, try that. So you might be getting around 100 to 200 responses, and if you want to understand much more detailed about the whole data, Gemini, just use Gemini and you will get the right decision, right pie chart, right whatever you want from that, you will get from that. So being a management student or management professional, you need not have to go in depth into what the technology is, how it can, how you should code all those things. You just need to understand what that technology is, what this particular technology is used for, and what the use case of that technology, and try to master that with all those tools in and around available. On the other part, Murli sir was speaking about the cloud kind of thing. So one of my friend who were doing the website development or the CRM models kind of thing, he used to say, so I take 3 to 4 months to write the complete line of coding kind of thing. Now it's 3 days. The entire product is deployed and it can be hosted. So technology have accelerated your decision making. It has accelerated the product development cycle. It has also accelerated the way you think with your common sense kind of thing. So try to use technology to accelerate your decision making and to get much more effective decisions or effective output from the whole content. Again, we were speaking about the learning curve or learning related activities. When is the learning come to an end? When will we stop learning? Any answers? When will we stop learning? Exactly. When we die, we will stop learning. So make it as a practice. Try to learn new things. Try to understand what's happening in and around you. Be very practical about what all things you are going to implement in your career, and that itself will help in your career. Again, we spoke about the digital transformation. So now you are in a situation where there are a lot of MSMEs in and around the country. And all the MSMEs are on a digital transformation in adopting new technologies in their day-to-day operations. Whether it's HR, whether it's operations, whether it's production. In each sectors, they are trying to implement new technologies, what is coming in, and how that can transform the production kind of thing. So as a management professional, you should also understand how the technology can entirely drastically change an MSME, or how they could accelerate the production or the productivity of an organization. That again will help you to get greater jobs, greater understanding greater understanding about the whole organizational activities in and around your organization when you join some enterprise. So be aware of what all things are happening in and around you. And one last point, just keep technology as an enabler. You need not have to worry about what is happening in and around. Just see what good technology can bring into your life, and definitely you can succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashok, for a very brief presentation. And the floor is now open for an interactive session. If anyone would like to ask some questions or to add on to what the panelists have said, or to elucidate from their own experience, they are most welcome.
Sir, myself Vasanta Gopal. So I am very happy to hear from you all experts with regard to this particular area. Actually, I have one question. I wanted to ask this question to Murali sir. Sir was telling that, say, a company, if it is company is a matured one, then even with less experienced people, they can run the show. Okay. So what will be the fate of an experienced technologist? Suppose if a person who is having 25 years, 30 years and all, they will have to work. But see, here you are telling that a matured company, if a company is so matured, then the experience is not at all a matter. Even a junior person can excel, can provide better service. Then what is the relevance of be experienced people?
So I think not 100% of the jobs, first I need to correct that, not 100% of the roles will be getting replaced. So when you look at the new era, so we are living in, we'll be living alongside the robots or the agents. Okay, the job description, for example, if a person will be joining, I'm talking just in the example of an IT sector, a developer to say designer to a architect to what you call a CIO kind of roles hierarchies. So the job roles of a developer, what he or she does, a part of that is getting what you call done by the agents. Okay, so most of the hiring executive search firms, what they are doing is, especially in the organizational design, OD, you are involved in that, so they are redesigning the JDs. So they are redesigning the JD in such a way that, so it accommodates the job description, the newer job description, where it facilitates the coexistence of the agents along with the worker. So the second part is that when you're talking about the experts, and most of the time, even now, I mean, even if the codes are getting generated, especially at a larger enterprise scale, so we still need what you call a human in the loop. That is still, I'm reiterating the fact that human in the loop is still an important aspect. We need to have that. The complete autonomous systems, so applications are getting generated. But the autonomy, I mean, how much of that is getting autonomized is getting improved year by year or day by day. Okay, but still the human element of what you call is final button press, yes, this is right, or this needs to be tweaked, that is still there. So the more they learn, the involvement of the man for that activity will go down. Okay, the expertise will come into picture that, I mean, to give the right decisions, right autonomous activity in the process is still required.
Excuse me, can you please introduce yourself before you speak?
Yes, sir.
Your name and what do you do?
Good afternoon to the whole panelists and participants. My name is Mustafa Salimi, and I am a PhD scholar at the Institute of Management.
Which country do you hail from? Where are you from?
I'm from Afghanistan. My question to the whole panel is in regards to the learning aspect, particularly when we are concerned about technology. So we think of one aspect that is providing the comfort, minimizing the time and reducing the cost. But when it comes to learning aspect, so as a student, I am concerned about myself. An assignment is given from the teacher, and I'm supposed to research and provide the answer. But now technology provides everything to me. So it hides or either eliminates that aspect of mine that I have to be involved to research to provide the answer. Do you think this is deepening the concerning aspect of us, forgetting or even eliminating the aspect of, as a student, to research and provide the answer, to research and learn? Or it is just, as one of the panelists say, that it should be used only as an enabler? So for a new learner or a person who has no information about technology.
Mustafa, please.
Yes.
Please ask your question.
This is my question.
Please be
Do you
brief.
think it is a negative aspect or only used as an enabler? Thank you.
He's asking whether technology is to be used as an enabler or
Detrimental.
Huh?
Detrimental, I mean.
Detrimental, correct.
So if I may ask, I mean, knife can be used for both the purpose, can be used for what you call chopping the vegetables and to make harm to someone as well. So when you talk about the technology, today's Times of India, some of you would have seen that there is one article, one ad. Are you outsourcing your thinking? This question is to ourselves. So do you want to what you call give your thinking abilities to what you call to the machine, or use that, I mean, as Ashok said, I mean, use that as a enabler to what you call augment you along with your thinking? So that is a choice we have to make it. For example, even the research said, so earlier we used to take a lot of time to find the research person reading and understanding whether that is relevant to my area of study or not. Now the tools, I mean, the technology will help you in identifying the related topics based on the what you call relevance. So that will help you in identifying the relevant topic and to improve the quality of your research. So the choice what we need to make, I think that is the way, it's an important aspect, is using that right ethical manner to make improvements in the mankind.
To add to what you have asked, like, see, basically why we do a research, what is the intention of learning something? At the end of the day, you are trying to solve a problem, right? So it can be a real world problem. So when you do your research, it should not be a theoretical research, it should be a utilitarian research. And at the end of the day, you use one of the 21st century skills like innovation to bring in something new, where it can able to solve a real world issue faced by society at the large, which can create an impact and value. So that it can be a tangible one, can be an intangible one. That is your choice. The approach you have to use is using technology as one of the enabler also, and you should not misuse it, right? You have to use it effectively, getting the benefit, because your last intention is not what technology I used to the maximum or not. What is the outcome you are trying to bring in? And what is the tangible benefit I am going to create and value added to society? That should be your end means and mission.
Okay, one more thing. So, one question, why do you study? To learn what? So, you learn, you study, so for what? To implement that somewhere in an organization kind of thing. So, it's more of like doing both the ends. It's a do it yourself kind of thing, wherein while you study, you also apply those things. So, when you do that research activity, you also, if you want to have a practical experience, it's always good you do that along with the research activities. That's all. Very simple like that.
Can I have one more doubt? Sir, regarding the learning aspect, we have to be, efficient, and we have to be very careful how to use that technology. Initially, when technology is introduced, it is introduced and it is defined how to use that one. But these AI tools, they are introduced rapidly one after another without even giving a short information how to use that one. So for me, let me just example myself. I am a learner who knows nothing about technology, just practically using it on the spot. How will I be able to distinguish whether I use it effectively or ineffectively?
You want a protocol as to how it should be used, is it?
No, there should be a proper introduction to that technology. Like there should be a class teaching students how to use that technology. Only then they can understand.
Correct. So I think what we do is that, we conduct a lot of webinars plus vertical sessions just to talk about how do we use this technology for both teaching, learning and research. Even in the government sector is probably, generally we say that it's just a slow adopters. Even the government officers are, learning these technologies. We trained over a couple of thousands of officers in the state of Kerala, and how to use this technology to enhance the productivity, smart working. For example, just simple example, I'll just start with one example. Most of the government officers, they study huge files, some files with hundreds of pages. So to get an inference of that, if they use a summarization tool, so they can get what is this file all about. Okay, so that is the way of using it, whether that is helping me in taking a decision faster or to improve my efficiency. So likewise, you need to look at what is your problem statement, is it helping that? That's why it's important to take a decision based on what you call a informed decision, using the specific need, is it benefiting the person?
Mindful of time and mindful of the fact that lunch, I'm between you and lunch. We'll end this, or while we conclude, on a very lighter note. While you use ChatGPT or any AI tool or Gemini or whatever is available to you, we need to be judicious, because that is not the ultimate. I'll tell a very short story, 1 minute. One of the engineering colleges in Kerala, the principal, for privacy, I changed the name. Father Matthew, who is the principal of a college of engineering here. He tried his own profile on ChatGPT, and then came a 2-page document. The noblest person on earth is Father Matthew. He felt very proud about it, goosebumps. The last sentence read, "Alas, he is no more." Then father got furious. He gave a correction back to ChatGPT. Father Matthew is always alive. He's a principal of a college of engineering in Kerala. Very healthy, very active. 2 weeks later, he checks again. But ChatGPT gives the same reply. He's again very annoyed. He gives a correction again. Another 2 weeks later, he checks again. And ChatGPT gives a correction. It says, Father Matthew is already no more, but there is another person who claims to be Father Matthew. So be judicious when you use AI tools. And when you do research papers, do some research yourselves also.
We move to the last
yeah.
question. Dr. Ambish.
It's not a question actually, it is one of my observation as an academic. About 80 to 90% of students and researchers are making use of generative AI tools, as it is being rightly pointed out here. But again, the use is that judicious? That is a question. And our dependence and maybe the misuse, that leads to a kind of elusive competitiveness among the students. And also, maybe coming over to the old story, the rabbit and the tortoise. We need to be wise, we need to be judicious. We are not supposed to compromise or maybe to cut down our critical thinking and capabilities as a true human being. The problem is not with technology, but the way we make use of the technology. That is my observation. Thank you.
Thank you, one and all. The session needs no formal winding up, no formal summing up. But nevertheless, as a moderator, I feel that it is my duty to at least offer an epilogue to the very meritorious discussions that we had, representing a cross-section of industry and the government here, as to how we can collapse the conventional consumption of resources with the timely adaptation of technology. If there is anything that the essence of these four gentlemen had spoken, it is the human touch that brings in, or that brings, or rather that rings a bell in the minds of every prospective manager. Technology can bring information. Technology can convert or turn data into information, but it requires a human intelligence to convert that information into intuition, into the right insight, and perhaps into the right innovation. And that is why we are here. And efficiency is the cornerstone that all management practitioners teach in their colleges and schools. But it is high time that we move over from the dictum of efficiency to an era of equity, of empathy, and also of emotional intelligence. To use a very common example, if we are going for a 100-meter sprint or a 1-kilometer marathon, AI or technology can succeed in giving you an odometer, a speedometer, perhaps a tachometer, or even a barometer, but it can never give you whether the marathon was worth taking the plunge or not. It is the human intelligence that rings the bell in the hearts of prospective managers. With this note, it's time for me to conclude. Before concluding, I must congratulate all the faculty members here, the head of the department, Sri Suresh Kumar, Dr. Vasanta Gopal, the assistant professors here, and also the IMK scholars who have taken the lead in organizing this seminar. it would be amiss if I do not point out that organizing is an ability that AI cannot take over. Organizing is an ability that AI cannot take over. It is a skill that has to be learned, that has to be honed, and perhaps the students here, led by the Institute of Management in Kerala, Father Daniel, and other students, assistant professors who are seated on the back, they have all done or been a scintillating example of how we can convert an organizational skill into a technology that is irreplaceable or irredeemable by the advent of technology or AI. Thank you very much, one and all. It has been a very illuminative session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We are truly grateful for your valuable time and meaningful perspectives on business, management, and technology. Firstly, I'd like to thank Sri S. Subramaniam, the moderator of this engaging panel discussion. Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank our panelists of this session, Mr. Sri Kumar V., Center Head, Tata Elxsi and Secretary GTech. Thank you, sir. Mr. Muralidharan Manningal, Chief Executive Officer, ICT Academy of Kerala. Dr. Manoj A.S., Head Learning and Development, KDISC. Mr. Ashok Kurian Panyikaran, Senior Manager, Research and Development, KSUM. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your valuable time. As a token of gratitude, we move on to presenting the certificates to the panelists of this session. Firstly, I'd like to request Dr. Manoj A.S. to receive the certificate of gratitude. I'd like to invite Dr. K.S. Suresh Kumar, Professor and Head IMK, to present the certificate. Next, I request Dr. Sri Kumar V. for receiving the certificate, and I welcome Dr. R. Vasanta Gopal, Director, School of Business Management and Legal Studies, to present the certificate. Next, I request Mr. Muralidharan Manningal to receive the certificate, and I'd like to call upon Dr. Ambish Mohan S., Assistant Professor IMK, to present the certificate. Next, I'd like to call upon Mr. Ashok Kurian to receive the certificate, and I request Mr. S. Subramanian IAS to present the certificate. Next, I request Mr. S. Subramanian IAS to receive the certificate, and I welcome Dr. R. Vasanta Gopal to present this certificate to Mr. Subramanian IAS. We're also presenting another token of gratitude to Mr. S. Subramanian IAS.